Hello. Today's lesson is about knowledge, the importance of knowledge. Well, I've realized that in most black communities at the moment, because of certain social needs, socioeconomic needs, we have found ourselves in positions where we do not make knowledge our priority. So that's my message for today, that as black community we should understand that knowledge is more powerful than money, because knowledge gives you money. The best example that I would give you is, if your child wants something from you, which one would you rather give to your child? Education or a house? Normally people would send their children to school rather than give them a materialistic position, or give them cars, or even give them a check. Because if I can give you, even if I can give you $1 million or $1 million or $1 million US, depending on what currency you use, if you're not knowledgeable, you find yourself wasting that money and misusing it, misappropriating it. So as a result, I find myself compelled to say, as a black community, we need to focus. Even if you're not black, it's fine. But I'm saying this because I've realized that mostly in most third world countries, we have taken knowledge and made it almost the last priority. So it's very important to search for knowledge more than the search for money, because once you get the search for knowledge, the search for money will come into place. So I would say, look, even the search for money requires knowledge on how to search for that money and where to search for that money. I've also noticed the difference between first world countries and third world countries is just knowledge. What first world countries do is that they spend a lot of money on research and development, and then after they've spent so much money, they then have products which the third world cannot compete with, and then they end up selling those products to the third world. However, the best way of closing that gap between the third world and the first world is by people spending more time on knowledge rather than other things. So it's better to be knowledgeable. In fact, the defeat of the third world was based on knowledge. And back in the day when Africa used to dominate the earth, we were known for our knowledge more than anything. I mean, ancient Egyptians are respected for knowledge. Ancient Malians are respected for knowledge. It is knowledge that gives you an edge over anybody else. So you have to understand that knowledge is power. Solomon also says in his books that a man of knowledge will always increase in strength and power. He says, in all you're getting, get understanding, even if it costs everything you have. Is that, look, if you want to see a turnaround in your life, start trying to get as much knowledge as you possibly can. Whether you get your knowledge formally, informally, or semi-formally, whatever formally you get, as long as you get knowledge. If you can't afford to go to university, grab a book, go to a bookshop. If you can't afford a bookshop, go to a library. If you don't have a library nearby, go to an internet. Google search. We have all the information we want these days, and let's just get information. It's all at our disposal. Power is a few steps away from you. It's a click away from you. So if knowledge is power, then and money is power, then knowledge equals money. Even if you have to make a choice between buying a book and buying a pair of new sneakers, I will always suggest buying a book. For example, if I were to ask you, if you were to have $15,000, what would you do with it? Would you spend it on knowledge or on just accessories? If your answer is accessories, then you're going down on the wrong road, and you might just even leave a wrong legacy for your kids. You must understand that it is always better to spend money on knowledge than accessories. It's better to live without certain accessories. It's better to live without an iPod than to live without knowledge. So if you have to choose between an iPod and a book, you choose a book. If you have to choose between an iPod and a subject that you want to learn at school, or something that you really want to study and further your knowledge, it's better to be without the bling and have the knowledge. Then the knowledge will get you the bling. It is well known that in everything, including sports, it's about technique. It's a technique that you use, that you get from a certain type of knowledge, that makes you succeed. Even in music or whatever, successful people have something that they know that you don't know. They know their how, that makes you successful. So it's very important to chase the hows. You must know how things are done and how things work and why and what. All those answers will answer a problem. We have a very short life. It's important that we have the right knowledge at the right time. Just to arouse interest for this episode, okay, I will give you 2 books to read. The first book, this book is called Finding Fertile Ground. Alright, Identifying Extraordinary Opportunities for New Ventures. That's the first book. The second book is Did You Spot the Gorilla? How to Recognize Hidden Opportunity. See? Now these 2 books have a potential of changing the course of action or the direction of your life. These books are rather an illustration of how you can use knowledge to empower yourself. By the way, this book is by Dr. Scott A. Shane. He studied for so long, and you can have all his knowledge in one book. You don't have to go through the 7 years of studying or the 14 years, whatever. This one is by Richard Wiseman. Richard Wiseman, by the way, is a magician and a psychologist, well renowned. You'll also find other videos or other clips about him on YouTube. Thank you very much. Till next time, cheerio.